Shalom. Before I begin, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachak Wadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who are teaching 100% truth of the Holy Scriptures. Shalom to the elect, and shalom to the brothers that are pushing the word of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai in truth and sincerity. And this lesson is going to be entitled, The Spirit of America, the Real Dindus. Right? And for those that may not, first I'll do this. I'll get the definition for dindu, right? It says the term dindu is an offensive and racist ethnic slur directed at black people. It is a phonetic contraction of the phrase didn't do nothing, or didn't do nothing, right? That's right. The full phrase is didn't do nothing. So Edomites, they always use this this term, right, to shit on Jake, right? And it goes into this says the slur mocks a stereotypical spurious protestation of innocence and a perceived regional pronunciation of English, right? So he's mocking, and here. This says portray black individuals as inherently criminal and as people who refuse to take responsibility for their action. So the spirit of America, that's why I labeled it, right? An inspiration comes from this, and also the elders from Boston 2 weeks ago, their camp, right? They were getting on Jake, but I'm going off of, Esau Edom, because they are the real dindus, right? And this is, we'll just let this play.
Now that we've got your attention, I have a video for you to watch. This is from 2015. Don't skip. Don't pause. Watch the whole thing.
So we've got people lined up for questions. I just got one more, because you used the word Christian. Have you ever asked God for forgiveness? That's a tough question. I don't think in terms of, I'm a religious person. Shockingly, because people are so shocked when they find this out, I'm Protestant, I'm Presbyterian, and I go to church, and I love God, and I love my church. And Norman Vincent Peale, the great Norman Vincent Peale, was my pastor. The Power of Positive Thinking. Everybody's heard of Norman Vincent Peale. He was so great. He would give a sermon you never wanted to leave. Sometimes we have sermons, and every once in a while we think about leaving a little early, right, even though we're Christian. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, Frank, would give a sermon. I'm telling you, I still remember his sermons. It was unbelievable. And what he would do is he'd bring real life situations, modern day situations, into the sermon. And you could listen to him all day long. When you left the church, you were disappointed that it was over. He was the greatest guy. And then, he passed away, but he was a great, he wrote The Power of Positive Thinking, which is a great book.
But have you ever asked God for forgiveness?
I'm not sure I have. I just go and try and do a better job from there. I don't think so. I think if I do something wrong, I think I just try and make it right. I don't bring God into that picture. I don't.
That hurt, didn't it? You know what that means. If you read your Bible, if you follow Jesus, you know what it means. And you know what that means about your vote.
All right, that's why the scriptures speak about let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. Right, he did all that. He went on that rant of, this guy's sermon was the best, and I didn't fall asleep once. I mean, he didn't say that last part, but that's how the Edomite gets down. How that one woman, Pat Bondi, and she was up there getting grilled by those she was doing some in the high courts, right? She had all her notes, and the bitch didn't fucking answer the questions. Well, you did this, and they just answer the questions, right? There was again, but these are all Edomites. That's the spirit of the Edomites, okay? And that's why we're going to start this lesson off with Zechariah 11 and verse 5. It says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Right? You see, I mean, I don't be on X, but you know what I'm saying? When brothers make the videos, right, they showcase all that alt-right, white supremacists, their attitude. Right, you just had that woman, she was flipping off them Somalians, right, at the Cinnabon. And what they do, right, they done hooked her up for, they did a GoFundMe page. You also had another one where she was calling, I think she was calling a little black boy, like, the hard R, right, at a, what was it, it was like at a park, at a little, like, playground, right? Because that's their spirit, man. It's only getting more intensified and more intensified because they're seeing that their white supremacist society is going down. So they're going to be like a cornered rat. Going starting from the top again, Zechariah 11 and verse 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Right, another thing Esau says, talking about their deception and their wrongdoings to our Gadite brothers and sisters, the North American Indians. They said, well, it's their fault. After the first and second treaty that we broke, they shouldn't have trusted us no more. You'd be like, what the fuck? But again, that's the spirit of the goddamn true dindus, right? This goddamn Edomite devil. It says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, blessed be Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Right? Because they got Jake, that's in the system as well. They're taking bribes. Right? They love the so-called white men. That's their shepherds, man. These false pastors, right? Sweating up, got the rag, talking about Jesus. Right? Shit's fucking. It's a goddamn shame. Goddamn race traders, man. But that is because of Western culture, that pointing the finger mentality. But like they say, you point in one, but you got three pointing right back at you. Okay? And they come in that spirit of St. John chapter 10 and verse 10. It says, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. All right, so that's how Esau gets down. He's a thief, right? He's a goddamn liar. He's a stealer, and he's a murderer. Because that's how the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai made him. He was meant to be that. There has to be a good guy and a bad guy. Right? And they're in that victim mentality all the time. We see it with the small hats. Right? It's a constant thing. And, I suggest y'all brothers watch, it's called Defamation. Apostle Rob Lob had mentioned about it probably some time ago, and I checked it out, and it goes to show you how there's a certain part. It's that victim mentality. There was a certain part where a little woman, she got into it with these locals, and this bitch straight lied. Oh, they called me a whore and this and that, and the cameraman confronted her. No, they didn't. But you see, that's what they do, man. The whole Palestine thing. So we're going to get Genesis chapter 27, verse 36. Because this is their forefather, Esau, right? It says Genesis 27, verse 36. Verse 35, it says, and he said, thy brother came with subtlety and had taken away thy blessing, right? Esau, he wasn't quick enough. But before that, it was prophesied unto what was the mom, Rachel, I think. No, not Rachel. Rachel, not Leah. Should I forget her name? Jacob's. Rebecca, there you go. Rebecca. Rachel? Oh, I don't know who that is, I forget. 35, right? So Rebecca, she was told that the older shall serve the younger, right? So it was prophesied unto her that Esau, being the first one that came out, was going to be in servitude to his younger brother Jacob, right? So this is continuing 35. It says, and he said, thy brother came with subtlety and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. And Jacob, Yahiqua, goes into the word supplanter, right? So he finessed Esau out of his blessing. It says, for he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and you see, this guy's a goddamn liar. That spirit of lying, and just cause, man, they're just natural born liars, man. I ain't never gonna forget this video of this little white bitch, right? Her mom came in the kitchen, cookies, right? She ate the cookies. Little devil bitch got, crumbs on her face, right, on her hands and shit. And she said a black guy stole it. Bro, what? The mom was like, so he came in here, TV's still there, jewelry's still there, and he ate the cookies, right? But it's just implanted in them, right? It was that Jeremiah 13 verse 23. Can an Ethiopian change his skin, or a leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. And Esau, Edom, is accustomed to do evil, right? That's how he was programmed to be. Genesis chapter 27 verse 36 says, so he took away my birthright, right? So he's lying on that, because he traded it. He made a deal for his birthright, for the pottage, right? Them lentils that wasn't even ready. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? Right? So that's the spirit of victim mentality that he's coming with. And the world is getting sick of it. They see past all of the propaganda, the smoke and mirrors, man. It's no longer working. They take no accountability for what the fuck they be doing, man. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 16. It says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat, right there, sold his birthright. Going back to the book of Genesis, right? So in the NLT, it says, make sure that no one is immoral or godless like Esau, right? We just seen DJT, right, say that he doesn't bring God into, I try to do better, right? That's that spirit of pride, that spirit of, I get it out the dirt myself. But but that's just their spirit. You know what I'm saying? They're godless. They're profane. They are outside the temple. It says, as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. And that's the spirit. That's what the elders was going into. The spirit of Jake, Babylonian mind state that Western culture has truly, corrupted so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans' minds. We were once corrupted that way, and that victim mentality, right? Not taking accountability. But you see that Yahweh Shem Yahushua has put the Spirit upon us to, truly reflect and be like, damn, we were a real piece of shit, right? But call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahushua that He has given that Spirit to us. And Lord willing, we stay in that humble and a repentive, state. It says, for ye know how afterwards, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. Right, so he has no repentance. That's why DJT said, yeah, I don't try to bring God into it. I try to make it all good. Right? So there is no saying sorry for Esau Edom. He can't be sorry because he isn't sorry. You know what I'm saying? In his actions, he proves that he truly doesn't think he didn't do. I didn't do nothing. That's his spirit. And he tries, that shit is called mirroring or projecting, right? He puts that shit on Jake when truly, Jake, 2/3 are a piece of shit. I ain't advocating for that, right? But they're low level, right? They're super low level. The perfect point, P. Diddy. P. Diddy is the goddamn worst, person, to walk this earth, according to the eyes and the media, the way they portray it. But hey, man, it's truly the Edomites, them Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. Right, look, see how they portray, in the movies, all that shit that they be happening like that. It truly goes down. So now, I'm gonna end off with this Psalms chapter 10 and verse 4. It says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. All right, kind of like in the spirit of Cain and Abel, right? Am I my brother's keeper? I don't know where he's at. What, am I my brother's keeper? Right, that spirit of jealousy. And also, what he said till the Lord said, if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. Again, Psalms 10 and verse 4. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. And we see that now, right? Even though the elder out there from London goes into, they're just like cultural Christians, right? It's not, I forget the term he used, if I'm not mistaken, that's it. But basically, it's just, it's a front. And we see in it, it says, his ways are always grievous, thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. Right? He don't think that judgment's going to come out. That's why Zechariah 11 and 5 stated that they're shepherds, because who's the ultimate shepherd? Our Lord Yahushua. He's known as that good shepherd that way, man. The shepherds don't care, right? Look at all the shit we've done to them. Gave them all types of diseases, shit diet, gave them all these idols, and God still hasn't brung us down. He must be with us. It says, verse 6, he hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. Yeah, that's their spirit of America. That's why they're coming up on the 250th year, thinking they still got another 250 to go. Absolutely not. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Hey, if that ain't fucking Esau Edom. I mentioned those politicians and how they get down. Hey, and again, from the head all the way to the feet. Lord willing, I'm gonna make this video of some that happened at camp, before the cameras rolled, right? And that's what it is, man. Cursing, right? And deceit and fraud. Right? These motherfuckers are some liars. It says, under his tongue is mischief and vanity. Yeah, right? Bitch, homeless than a motherfucker, still bitch talking shit. It says, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places doth he murder in the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. And who are the poor? So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right? And, he hits us with all these different laws, right? And the thing with the law, with the statistics, is that Esau, he gives his people probation and shit like that, so it keeps the statistics down. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. Right? Again, that their judicial system, and it's all aimed to go against starting with Judah, the southern kingdom, because even again the brother was going into from London, I forget what it was called, the Sus Acts, the Sus laws, right? They would hit Jake with these I forget how it was called, but basically trumped up charges in order for them to have a criminal record. So now it's harder to just advance in just normal life. You can't get a job, right? Felonies and shit like that, right? That's just the way Esau gets down. He croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. He hath said in his heart, the Most High hath forgotten. Yeah, but absolutely not. It tells in the book of Revelation that his sins have reached unto the heavens. The Lord has not forgotten. He hideth his face, he will never see it. Which Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 11. Real fast. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. So their spirit is that judgment hasn't came, so we gonna continue to be wicked. But you see, the way the Lord judges the nations, he lets their sin just overflow, and until that time is right, and you get the full ass whooping. But you see, as for Jake, we get punished at he basically he doesn't let it stack up, so that way the punishment is not as severe. Back in Psalms chapter 10 and verse 11, verse 12. Arise, O Yahweh Bashem Shai, O power, lift up thine hand, forget not the humble. And he will not. He's going to save his elect. Wherefore doth the wicked contemn the Most High? He hath said in his heart, thou wilt not require it. It was that the book of, I think it's Nahum. He will not at all acquit the wicked. I think it's the first chapter. Right? So best believe that he's going to make it justice. He is a power of justice, righteous judgment. Right? And judgment goes both ways. For the righteous, they get rewarded for their actions, and also the wicked, which they get rewarded for their actions as well. So with that being said, going to close out by giving all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Chakwadash, Barakat Yahweh, Barakat Yahweh Shai, Shalom.